Hey traders, market update time. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, it's market update time. Gonna have a look at the markets and show you what I see on the charts. Look at the monthly chart, look at that weekly chart, look at the daily chart, build the picture for you. And let's see what happens this week. So, moving forward, looking at that monthly chart, once again, looking on the Dow Jones. We'll start with the Dow Jones first. Looking on that monthly chart, you can see this is obviously a monthly chart. Each bar represents 1 month. Looking at the monthly bar, you can see that it actually ran up through there and it rejected at that point through there. And I was saying that this line through here and this line through here is all a bunch of area of resistance. I do expect that area to hold if it does rally up to here. And then I'm expecting this market to come down at least and then start to get below this and start to see some movement into the end of May. We can see that the market's actually holding quite nicely there. So you can see that this here, like little my software is doing little so as I was saying, that looking at the monthly bar, you can see that we've had a lot of areas of resistance up the top here. And so I'm expecting a down move or for this to actual hold up here and for us to continue down. Looking on the monthly chart here, we can see we're definitely a lot of resistance. It actually struggled to break above or even close above the 17,000 or even the 18,000 level, which is obviously a big level for the Dow. So you can see that's what's happening through there. A lot of reversals, so a big reversal on the monthly bar. So looking on that, let's go have a look at the weekly chart now, and let's see what's happened so far on the week. So far on the week, that's not the weekly trend lines. Let's bring up that trend line through there. No, not that one through there. That's that weekly chart. This is obviously that's obviously you can see that's what's actually, it's actually interesting. I didn't notice that before. So let me just delete that off and let me delete that off. We can see here on the monthly bar, on the weekly charts. We can see that it's actually really interesting. We can see that this area through here is definitely an area of resistance and support on the Dow Jones. And we can see how it broke back up, it come back down, and now it's faltering where it is right now. This is obviously on the weekly chart, and obviously we had this resistance up here, and we're getting this once again. We're getting this sort of market coming through it. You can see last week actually held above that line through there, which was definitely quite strong, and you can see that that's what's actually happened through there, and that's what we can see bouncing off this weekly bar. But you can see once again, guys, that this market's come up so far that this market won't stay up here that long. You know what I mean? You can see here when we get an astronomical move to the high side, we end up coming on. You can see here this one here. This was actually a 3 to 4% down week, so we haven't even actually seen that. So that's what we're seeing on the weekly charts. Last week I was saying that the market's likely to run up and test these previous bars over here as resistance. That's what's happened. But let's go have a look at that daily chart, because that's the chart that I want to show you. And this is the really interesting. Looking on this daily chart, there's a lot of different indicators on here and stuff like that. Don't really worry about the indicators, because the indicators don't mean anything to me right now, apart from the volume. Even though the stochastics are there right now, I don't think this market's getting ready to turn up. But by looking at this here, you can see how actually, you know what? Let me just minimize those two different indicators, because we don't really need to worry about those right now anyway. Let me just minimize that. All right, cool. So we don't need to worry about that anyway. So but by looking at this market, you can see the market step up, markets ran up, had a decent pullback, broken past this support level here and this support level here on that week down, and now we had like a bit of a sideways day based on what happened on Friday. So we can see also that the markets actually came up, it's here, came up, hit this area of resistance, come back up and hit this area of resistance where we are right now. So this trend line is in place. Now, I do expect maybe a little upside action, so we might get a little upside action. If we do get a little upside action, we have a ton of areas of resistance where the market has actually been having problems, and this is obviously this area of resistance up through here, which was through there, and also through there. So even if we do get a little rally to the high side at the start of this week, I think that will falter, and that will hold, and then the market will definitely start to crack, and then we'll start to get a lot more severe crack. That's what I'm seeing on the market there. Or the market might hold here and then continue some more severe, more severe selling on the downside. That's what I do see. So either one, we rally into this area of resistance up the top here and we hold and then we drop, or we just hold here for a couple of days or maybe even tomorrow, we don't know, and then actually drop down as well too. Now the interesting thing I want you guys to realize is looking at the volume. You can see how the volume here, the volume on the Dow Jones, even on this bar here, it was very, very, very low. And you can see the last couple of the spikes, the higher the volume has actually been on the selling side as this market's been coming down. And you got this little up bar through here. And if that was a strong reversal, then you would actually expect the market to actually hold there. So that's exactly what I'm looking at. That's exactly what I'm seeing there. But by looking at the volume here, guys, that's telling me that there's not a lot of strength in that move. If this was a true strong reversal strength there, you would actually get some, get a decent volume behind that. So but the purpose of that, guys, is what I'm saying there is that there wasn't much volume there, but I do see that if we do get a little rally to the high side, and I don't know what's going to happen from here, guys. I really don't. Are we going to get a little rally? If we do get a little rally, it's like it'll be a short-lived rally, and then we roll over, create another lower peak, maybe even like a big head and shoulder formation. That's what the market might be creating right now. You got this left shoulder here, you got this head. It might be creating a right shoulder here, and then bam, then down we come. So it might come up through there, filter for a couple of days, and then start to head back down into maybe next week and the last couple of weeks, and then we start to see some selling obviously in the month of May. Big selling anyway. So that's what I do see there, guys, looking on that chart there. Let me see if I can bring this down so I can. There we go. So that's what I do see on the Dow Jones. The S&P is very similar as well too. Okay, my software is completely SP. I've got to do this manually. Alright, nothing. My software is going completely bang on me today. Alright, there we go, cool. Alright, my software is really not working. So anyway, let's actually continue here. So let's actually look at the monthly chart as well too on the Dow Jones. Oh, sorry, S&P. Same thing as the Dow Jones, but as I said before, I said it last week that market's likely to rally up, cause this bar over here as resistance and reject it. We did get that. We had a little rally late into the week, but I do think we're likely to start seeing some significant selling moving into that as well too. It's very, very similar on the weekly charts as well too, guys, where I'm seeing, let's actually just draw this, I'm seeing that the market has actually been going through there and closing through there. I do see, if I draw a trend line, say from there to there, I do see that the market definitely held that area through there. If I bring that up through there to there, I can see how that this top area through here, you can see how that top area through there connected through there, and if you wanted to go higher you could, but probably making it up. So that one probably through there is probably best. You can see how we're getting into this sort of wedge triangle pattern through here. Now you can see that's on the weekly chart, and obviously looking on the daily chart, guys, once again, the daily chart, the market broke down, come down through there. We actually got a slight less, if you open up, we got a slight less volume. The thing is this, guys, is that the one thing I'll say about these reversal bars is that if this was totally strong, and this was getting ready to reverse to the high side massively, you would get an increase in volume. Now, the reason why I say that is this, is look at the volume here, all right? You had this sort of, you had one of these sort of reversal bars here, but in the scheme of things, it wasn't really a reversal bar. But you can see this bar here, it actually opened and had a engulfing, it engulfed all the way to the high side, and it closed there, totally engulfed that bar through here. And look, we actually got an increase. Even if it's a slight increase shows you something. Okay, a slight increase actually shows you, what's going on. So if you can have a bar analysis along with volume, now that's actually saying something. So for example, you can see that the market had a run up, we had a volume. It had another run up, we had a increase in volume. Okay, and we had this that was that bar there. So we had an increase in volume to that bar there, and then that bar there, we had an increase in volume as well too. But see this bar down here, right? See this bar down here. See how that bar was actually you had this like little reversal. This had this like little indecision type of reversal bar. We had an increase in volume. That could be classed as a selling volume. On the 21st, you can see we had this down bar through here, and we actually had a slight increase in volume. It was actually just a slight increase, but that was enough to start to see some, at least a little bit of selling on the downside. And then guess what? Then the market was here. Then we had a little bar there, a little bar there, and then guess what? We had this big selling bar down through here. Guess what? And we actually had, obviously, a little slight increase. And then we had this volume here, and we had a lot more towering volume through here. But notice this bar here, right? We had this big, look at that big up bar, right? It's like, and this is where I think the market changed, because in the last couple of times the market was doing this. It'll pull back, and we had a little up bar through there, and it continue up. But look at the decrease in volume, and then suddenly we had an almost equal volume through there. Now if I just let me see if I can I do that? No, I can't. Can I? Now let me just bring this up through here. It's going to bring that up through there. Alright, you actually can see, and I know I'm not looking at the finite numbers here, but this actually really matters, guys, especially right now when we're trying to get a good understanding of what's actually happening. We can see that we actually had this up bar through here, this total up bar through here, but look at the decrease in volume. And then we had this selling bar, and look, we actually had a slight increase in volume. And then we had another selling bar, and we had actually a decrease in volume. And we had this other selling bar, we had a decrease in volume. And now we had this bar here, and we even had a slight decrease, or maybe even same volume. So this volume bar here, if the buyers are starting to come in, you'd expect something like up here. If that was the case, then yeah, you'd start to see maybe a significant rally, but there's no buyers. And if we do get another bar like this tonight, and the volume is maybe even less, like down here somewhere, that's showing me that, yeah, we are going down, because there's no volume in that. And remember, guys, if I bring up this daily chart, the whole time this market has been, it's been sort of rallying up in a little sideways movement, and then we get a little breakout, a sideways movement, and a little breakout. And that's what we've been doing all the way up. So, but now you can see here, right, that little downward movement, and then we had a breakout. And then we pause through there, and you can see now we're actually starting to slowly step down. Obviously, we're breaking out of this resistance line as well too. So you can see we're actually starting to roll over. You can see here that we're actually starting to roll over like that. It's getting like a really big rounding top through there. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm seeing there, guys. Obviously on the S&P as well too. If I bring up the Nasdaq, my software's working for me now. How cool is that? We bring up the Nasdaq monthly chart. Nasdaq monthly chart had a reversal bar here as well too. As I was saying last week, this is obviously this is only the first week of May. We still got another 20 days. In 20 days in total of May to go, and so I'm expecting this to be a lot more to the downside. I'm expecting, I'm you know what, this might be one of those things, because we actually are stepping down, that we actually getting the high point through here, high point through here, high point, a lower high, lower high, lower high. We had this low and ultimate lower low. So to me, guys, if this trend continues, we are going to make new lows, and maybe not like that, but maybe we're going to make new lows coming down through there somewhere. So maybe if we draw a trend line, so maybe down here somewhere. So that's obviously what looking at the monthly charts there, guys. That's obviously looking at this month as well. Looking on the weekly charts, what do we see? We actually had a down bar as well too. Nasdaq has actually been falling off, and Nasdaq's actually down from high to low. It was down close to 5.5%, and now we're getting a little support and a little bounce up. Once again, looking at the Nasdaq where it is right now, I'm actually expecting a little more upside on the Nasdaq, but I'm expecting it to be short-lived, because if you look at this here, guys, once again, if this was a true strong volume, true strong sort of reversal, one, we wouldn't have broken this low through here or this trough through here. We're actually now making a lower trough. So this market's coming down through here. Even if we do get a little rally to the upside, this is likely to be resistance through here, and then we're likely to pause. Now the thing is all the decent volume spikes, right? And you can see, and if you look at this here, you can see last time, and let me actually open my chart up so you can see a bit more. Last time we actually had a significant selling down bar with selling good selling strength. We actually tried to reverse up, didn't we? And you can see, look at that. The volume was actually a lot less than that bar, and even that bar there, and even probably close to that bar there. So a lot less volume. And guess what happened the next day? Came down. We had a spike in volume. We had more selling volume, and you can see that we actually had this little sort of we opened very low on the open, and we came up and closed there as well too. So and as you can see, once again, we actually had lower volume as well too. So once again, guys, that doesn't mean we're not going to go to the upside. I don't know what's going to happen this week. I really don't, because there's either two scenarios that's going to happen. If we do get a rally to the high side, I think maybe a couple of days worth of that, and then we roll over, and then we start to see significant movement, or we pause here for a couple of days, or even just one day maybe, and just fall down. So I really don't know what's going to happen here overall, and so that's what I'm looking at. Now, obviously, my stochastics are all overbought, oversold, should I say, and we're getting ready for more upside from there. That's what the stochastics are saying, but I'm not looking at the stochastics. Remember, stochastics are like only 5% of the equation. It's all about the charts here. And if I go to my Russell, then the Russell, look at the Russell monthly. You see resistance. It's actually totally hitting this resistance right now. We actually are finding a bit of support on this monthly chart anyway, around about here. So that's where it's actually finding a lot of support. So I'm expecting down on the Russell. The Russell's actually been the weakest out of the whole lot. And looking on the weekly charts, once again, guys, you can see the weekly charts. The market's been running up. When this market, if you look at this, nothing's changed. So this market's continued to have this big shot up. We haven't had a decent pullback, and that's what will happen out of this market. It's just going to happen. And obviously, looking at the daily charts, don't worry about the volume there, because the volume doesn't really change on this chart anyway. I just want you to focus on the charts here, and you can see that we actually broke key support levels on this. And you can see that this high through here, we actually broke this high through here, and it came down through there. So we actually did it through here as well too. So the Nasdaq actually has a tendency of breaking through support and then breaking back up, breaking through support and breaking back up. So that'd be something I'd want to watch out. But I do see this selling leg as to be a last selling leg. If we do get a bit of a rally to the high side, I think I think it might be 1 or 2 days. I think it might be short-lived up here, and then we roll over. And like the other markets, then that might be creating a big head and shoulder formation. And then once that happens, we break, and then we break hard on the downside. Then that's what I do see as well too. So anyway, guys, that's what I do see on those markets. Quick look on the SLV and show you what I'm seeing through there. Let's actually just go to the weekly charts here. SLV, what I'm seeing here on the SLV is that I'm hoping to get a bit more of a pullback, because I actually want to get into some more SLV. I'm actually in it now, but I want to get into some more. But if I just look at the daily chart, maybe we're getting a slight little pullback, but I don't see silver. I think silver's going to hold here and pause, and then maybe another couple of sideways days. I don't know, and then a rally, and then a run to the high side. But I do see a major rally happening in gold and silver, and I just explained on the video. I explained in a different video because this video is getting along. But what generally happens in times of crisis is that silver and gold will rally, then everything comes down. So a lot of people like Harry Dent has been saying gold's going to come down, gold goes down, gold goes down. What Harry Dent doesn't realize, and again I'll show this on a chart on the next video, but what Harry Dent doesn't realize is gold and silver spike before a crisis, and then everything comes down. So the gold and silver is not in bubble territory. The stock market is. So if for gold and silver to burst a bubble, it's not in a bubble right now. It's been going down for 4 or 5 years. So it's not a bubble territory. So I believe Harry Dent is wrong there. I see gold and silver going up first, and it's just exploding. And then when this market really unravels, we're talking like a good 50% on the downside. I think that's when the market explodes. And again, I'll explain that in a different video because I've got to set my charts up properly here. But generally, what happens is if this was gold here, if this is gold and say gold and silver, generally what happens is the gold and silver will take off and it will explode to the high side, and the market might be doing like a little head and shoulder formation coming down through here. It might be having a good pullback. No real massive pullback, like a good 30 or 40 or 50% pullback. Gold just takes off out of nowhere. And then what happens is that the stock market will crash, and then so will gold and silver, and it'll come back down to equilibrium. But after gold and silver bubbles, that's when we get the severe crash on the downside. So I'll show you that in another video, but that's what I do see there on silver. And obviously looking at the GLD, same thing as actually GLD. Looking at that and looking on the weekly chart there, guys, GLD actually found a lot of support through there. And GLD just looks really, really, really strong. So there we go, guys. That's what I do see in the markets. Overall, guys, silver and gold, I'm hoping they'll pause here a little bit so I can have a good time to get in here. But I do see a boom in gold, boom in silver. I'll explain more in the next video. But overall, major US indices, we might get a little rally to the high side for the start of this week. But if we do, as I said last week, that I believe it's likely to be short-lived, and then we go down again on the US indices for this week, or either we pause here and the market just keeps going down overall. So that's what I see, guys. Have a great week. Hey, it's John Howell here, and thanks so much for watching my video. You see, I'm putting out daily videos and education on helping you learning the art of successful trading. So click on the subscribe button to keep up to date with every video I do. Also, check out my story video, $250,000 in debt, cancer, overweight, family passing away, lived on the streets, and more, and how I overcome it and now thriving through my life. This is here to motivate you, so click on that image to watch my video. And lastly, if you're struggling with your trading, then you need to see my latest webinar where I'm sharing with you an amazing strategy that allows you to generate an income without getting the direction right. So click on that image on this page to register for my next free webinar. This is John Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.